Andrew is with us. Andrew's in Atlanta. Hi, Andrew. What's up?
Hi, Dave. Pleasure to speak with you.
Sure. How can I help?
15 months ago, I entered into a 3-year car lease. Since then, I've learned how foolish that was, and I'm considering how to get out of it. Given the current market and cars' value, should I find a way out, or specifically, would the dealership let somebody come back in and just say, "I want out. You guys can make more on it right now," or should I just take the lesson learned and never lease again when it's over?
Well, the way the numbers work out is this. What you're on the hook for is 20 more months approximately of your car payment, plus
Correct.
plus the closed-in buyout. At the end, there's a stated value in your fleece that you can buy the car for at the end of the 36 months, and there's approximately 20 months of that left, right?
30,000 plus about it's $800 car payment. So
it's a monster.
I think it's about 46,000. Yeah,
nice car,
ridiculous,
big car.
Shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So those are the two numbers. You can add those two numbers together and say that's what the whole picture looks like. Now, if you wanted to get out, the way to measure against it is really to measure the $800 per month for 30 months, or for there's 20 months left. So is that 16,000? Is that right? No, that's 160,000.
14,600 or something around there. Yeah.
Yeah. Am I dropping a zero? But anyway, so compare what you have, exposure that you have. Yeah, it'd be 14,000, 16,000, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Versus what you would lose on it if you sold it today. Now, the way you would calculate that is you find out what you can sell it for in this ridiculous, wonderful, hot market for used cars, and you compare that to another number, and that's calling the fleece. Who have you got the fleece with?
Toyota.
You call Toyota and say, I want the early buyout number, which is the equivalent of your payoff today. That's not the $30,000 at the end. That's today. If I write a check today and pay the thing off, that compared to the value, how far upside down are you?
That could be less.
I'm sorry?
That could be less than what the
less than
contract says.
15,000. And so, what was the original MSRP on the car, the sticker price?
I'm just looking at the lease here. The adjusted capital cost is $55. I don't know what the sticker price was. Again, I learned the hard way.
That's okay. All right. And have you looked up what it's worth at all?
The trade-in value is around 43. Private parties around 46.
Okay, so let's call it 45 for discussion purposes. And now you call Toyota up, and they say your early buyout is 40. Okay. You can write a check today for 40 and be clear. Then that means you're 5 in the hole. If you keep it, you're 15 in the hole, even if you turn it in, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if you want out of it, this is probably going to be a good one to get out of. You're probably going to find you're not much in the hole right now. What kind of Toyota? It must be a truck.
Yeah, it's a Tundra.
Yeah, it's a beast. Okay.
Double cab. Going through the specifics, would I find someone that is willing to buy it from me? And
yes.
Then
yeah, you would sell the car to someone and write a check for the difference in that and the early buyout. And you've got to send that whole amount to Toyota, then they send you a title.
Okay, so I just let Toyota know I'm selling it, and I'm, sorry, I haven't looked up any of these details. I'm just curious about how that.
Yeah, well, I mean, the way you it's just like, pretend you had a car loan, God forbid, with Bank of America. The title would not be held at your local branch. It'd be held out of town.
Yeah.
And so if you did the same thing and you were upside down there, you have to give the whole amount of the payoff, which is the amount you put with it plus what the buyer gives you, right? So the buyer drives off with a car and a bill of sale and the keys. This is the way it always works. Then you send the full payoff to Bank of America, in this case Toyota. They send you the title. You sign it over to your buyer. It takes about 5 weeks.
Okay.
4 weeks, 3 weeks, depending on how efficient Toyota is. To get the full transaction done. Now, and if you do it with a dealer, you're going to get less for it because the dealer's going to buy it at wholesale, but you're not going to have to screw with anything. They're going to take care of everything. So I'd get a dealer bid on it, see what a Toyota dealer will give you. I'd compare that to what private sale is saying on Kelley Blue Book, and then I'd get your early buyout number from Toyota. but you're going to write a check for something here. It's just not going to be as much as if you keep it.
Understood. Thank you.
Hey, thanks for the call, man. I appreciate you joining us. Open phones at 888-825-5225. You jump in. We'll talk about your life and your money. The car fleece is the most expensive way to operate an automobile. It is not cheaper. It's more. Because when you add up the numbers he just said, and here's the thing. The car goes in his example. MSRP sticker was $55. At the time he turns it back in 3 years later, the turn-in value is $30,000. He can buy the car for $30,000 at that time or hand them the keys, right? Now, I'll guarantee you this. Toyota's a lot of things, but stupid's not on the list. 100% of the time, that $30,000 has been very carefully calculated with Toyota Tundra statistical evidence that says that that's about what that car is going to be worth. It's not a $35,000 car and he can buy it for $30,000 at the end of the lease. And it's not a $40,000 car that he can buy for $30,000 at the end of the lease. And it's not a $28,000 car that he can buy for $30,000 at the end of the lease. It's a $30,000 car he can buy for $30,000. So when you put that number in there with $800 and something a month, you figure out what his cost of capital is, which is the effective interest rate, and it generally is around 14.2%. It's the most expensive way to buy a stinking car. Don't do it. It's a car fleece. You're getting fleeced. It's a bad idea.